Call the order the Capital Improvement Committee meeting of September 28, 2022. In attendance is Brandon, Ben, Shirley, and Ellie, and myself, Mike Fitzpatrick. The rest of them have excused absences. As you brought up before the meeting, it requires 5 people out of the 9 because we're charged for the 9-person committee. Anyways, first thing on our agenda is the discussion of the special stabilization account that we talked about in the fall and through the spring. I went through this proposed wording with the town finance director as well as the town administrator, and it's going past Rich Bowen, the town council. Kind of shied away. We talked about it, it's in our minutes, but we talked about getting away from a value. If we use it as a GVW, gross vehicle weight, reference to this fund, on this particular fund, then it would prohibit trying to purchase smaller vehicles, whether it's an ambulance or a pickup truck or a cruiser or anything like that. So the whole purpose of this is to try to, what it's called, stabilize the capital outlay instead of every 5 years like this past year, it was $750,000, which was close to 60% of the capital budget, which prevented us from doing anything else. So the idea behind this is to fund it in small amounts. It's about 9%, figuring on a $1.1 million capital budget each year, if that's what continues to happen, versus 60% all at once. So then when it comes up in 5 years, it could be anywhere from 18 to 21% of the capital budget for the purchase of these trucks. There's no way that we can get around buying these trucks. The one that we just replaced is a 1999. The next one in line is a 2001. The ladder truck, which is, fortunately for us, is in exceptional condition, but it's a 2005. And then the last one, which we purchased 5 years ago, is 2017. So this will put us on about a 5-year interval. So it'll be important for the fire department to try to reach those goals and keep this equipment in best condition they can to get into that rotation to prevent these big hits on the capital budget going forward. Just trying to give a brief outlay in case somebody's watching and they want to know what we're doing, if they missed any previous meetings. That's why I went through it all again. So I don't know if everybody's had a chance to, I just handed these out, but had a chance to look at the wording in there, if there's anything that suggested changes or don't agree with or anything like that, now's the time to do it. Typically I go in counterclockwise. I'm going to go clockwise this time to give you a break from putting you in the spotlight right out of the gate.
Well, I get the last say then, right?
Yeah, you get the last say. But just to mix it up.
Yeah, no, that's
all.
fine.
Just trying to be fair. So Brandon, do you have anything that you would like to add, change, or?
I do not. I agree with it as it is written.
Ben? Nope. No changes?
No changes.
Shirley, do you have any comments, changes, or wishes?
No, I think it expresses, and I think my concern at the meeting was that it, the legalese of the article, the intent, yes, I'm in
Yes.
favor of, and as you said, you went through, discussed it with Jean and Matt, and also with Rich Bowen, town council, so that it's legally presented.
One other thing that I didn't mention, I did show this to the finance committee, and I was adamant and explained to them that we have not come to a conclusion on this, made a final decision on what we're doing, but I wanted to share it with them. We're in that time of the year to start talking about these things. So I went and I showed them what this was, and they supported it. They thought it was a good idea. It puts us in a better position bond rating wise with the town to have something that's proactive instead of reactive. Kelly,
Yes,
I'm anticipating you.
Yeah, I wrote down.
That's all right, no, that's
But
good.
I think, oh, I should write it down, shouldn't I? So I'm in favor of a capital fund to which free cash is voted to be put into an account. But I'm not in favor of designating a specific cause or expense. I'm against it. So I'll probably
Yeah.
vote no.
Nope,
And second off, I feel that safety is valued and supported in this town, and that something which is in our minds as, that is essential weighs in with the community, with community support. And rather than a need which is viewed as non-essential, a capital fund could and should serve the latter better, I feel. So that's another reason why I'm voting against.
my own comment, just, and again, I don't know if anybody else has anything. Listening to what you said, you expressed that you recognize the need and the importance of it, that if I understood you correctly, you think the fund should be set up for things that wouldn't necessarily be considered as important?
No, I think it should just be called a capital
Oh,
fund.
okay.
That's it.
Yep,
So it could be used for a fire engine, it could be used for a library, it could be used for, whatever.
right. So, again, these are just my own thoughts. Everybody else is free to have whatever thoughts they have and input they have, and I would encourage it because this is how we get through this process. Why I started off on this was because of the amount of money that it takes to buy one of these foolish things. The capital budget just can't, what we get for a capital, if we could double it, then we'd be in much better shape, but I don't see that happening. It's just such a big hit, and just this past go-round, we had decided to match the Chapter 90 funds, which is important because the roads are terrible around there, and they're only getting worse. That takes 32%, I think, of the budget, something like that. So it didn't leave us with anything. So I was struggling for the last year or so, trying to come up with an idea, and I kept talking to Matt, Gene, and stuff like that, trying to come up with an idea to help this problem that we have, because I don't see it going away in no time soon, especially where we get 5 years down the road, that 2001, that is now 21 years old, will be 26 years old, and the ladder truck 5 years down will be, right now it's what, 17? So it'll be 22 years old. Ben's associated with the fire department, so he could answer this question probably better, but I think like the ladder truck is beneficial for the chimney fires that we have. Fortunately, we don't have any big structure fires locally. We do surrounding town community support, but it's very beneficial for the chimney fires, so they can safely get up there. It seems like we have those frequently, more so than anything else, so. I don't know, it's, as a group, trying to come up with a way to eliminate that problem. I don't know how we can get past that. I recognize the challenges that the library has, and.
No, I
No.
don't want you to specifically talk about the library, and
Oh, okay.
I say it because who do I represent, but the
Okay,
library.
so you don't have to get,
Yeah,
excited
but,
about
so I
that.
don't want you to,
I'm not saying it in a negative.
I'm not
Okay.
balancing the fire department against the library's needs. I'm just saying that if you just called it a capital committee or a capital fund, then it could be used for both if need be. Instead, and I think you had mentioned before that, oh, there's no problem, you just have to vote it at a town meeting. Well, there are some people that don't want to vote it at town meeting. So if you just keep it general.
Well, it wasn't a casual, oh, there's no
And if we
problem.
are, in our mind,
Okay.
are, in my mind, the fire truck is there, in the future. So, I'm not going against you there, I'm just asking that it not be called this specific thing. Because this would be good for a highway, wouldn't it, too?
Highway what?
The
No, but what? I know it's some-
GVW 26,000 pounds. Are those trucks 26,000?
Over 26,000 pounds? Yes, if it was specifically said for vehicles over 26,000 pounds, yes, it would bring in any of their heavier dump trucks. Most of their six-wheelers are under 26,000. I think they only have probably one or two that are over 26,000 pounds over there.
So it's not, well, it just says purchase of fire suppression vehicles. So
correct.
you're really narrowing the use of this money.
Yep.
And that's what I'm against.
Yep,
That's
to be perfectly honest with you, that was my intent, my personal
Yeah.
intent from the beginning, because I view this as a very big struggle for us as a group to try to do each year. If you think back of the fire department requests on our capital, we had like a truck every single year. We can't do that. We can't take our entire remaining capital budget and put it towards these vehicles. It's just, everything else would fall down around us. And so I'm trying to figure out a strategy in which we can start fixing the things that we need to fix. Whether it's the tables in the elementary school that are 30 years old that no longer stay up in the air, that they in danger of collapsing when they have them in the propped up position. We have all these things. All these things rattle around in my head. I don't know about anybody else, but we all have needs, and I won't say nothing about buildings that you don't want me to say anything to, but that's all but in all seriousness, this is all the same concerns that I have, and I'm assuming that everybody else that joins us at this table has too. If you notice, when I started talking about this, when we did our last 5-year plan, I was amazed how involved in trying to be all across the board as the fire chief was, because a lot of pressure got taken off his head. He's not trying to constantly fight for that truck, and that's not what the goal was, but it was an observation on my part that there was a good result out of that. It was a very productive process there. We all worked hard trying to get that 5-year plan. I think we came up with a pretty good one. Which we'll be reviewing again to make sure that's what still our same thought process is. But I don't know any way to solve this problem. It will come back, and it might not even be 5 years. If we don't have something in place that, a strategy on how we're going to address this problem, then the fire department, no matter who it is, whether it's Kent, Kelly, or somebody else in there, they're still going to come and they're going to try to push that every single year, because they know it's going to be no, and sooner or later it's going to be a yes. So we're just going to keep pushing until we get a yes. By coming up with a strategy like this, it kind of takes the pressure off of everybody, including themselves, and makes them actually come up with a logical plan on how to make it work. They can't turn around and say, all right, we're not going to say anything for 5 years, but then we're going to go out. They won't get it. They won't get it because they won't be in the forefront. Same thing with the highway bond is beyond ridiculous. We are cutting down trucks, and now the newer trucks are so big, I don't think they can physically fit them in now anymore. So at some point, they're gonna outgrow the building. They just can't physically fit into it. So that needs to stay on capital every year, just so we're paying attention to it, because that problem's not gonna go away. So,
Mike, if I may.
yes.
In regard to that, a few years back on capital, I believe it was John that said, well, he hadn't put
Right.
highway barn on there. And I said, you have to keep it on there because it makes us aware that this is a
Right.
problem,
Right.
and it's been a problem, and it's getting worse, and, and it's getting more expensive. So we have to know these things are there.
Right.
Sometimes, people, the departments are able to get grants on some of the other things, but big items,
Right.
no.
Right, and I would like to see the library on there all the time for handicap, and I'm being honest with you, for handicap accessibility. I think it's very important and that we get that done. But it has to, I can't be the driving force behind it. I can help, but
Yeah.
I can't be the, and it's, I'm not against it, I've never been against it.
No, I mean, it's a law. And how long has that law been in effect? I know it was when I was still working, so that must have been in the 90s or something
Right.
like that it came into effect.
Right.
We've been bad since,
Right.
for over 25, 30 years.
Right.
So,
And the library's taken a proactive approach, and they're trying to raise whatever pennies they can raise on it, and
And putting them in the same thing, of
Same, right.
Bartholomew,
Yeah,
so we get
yeah.
a higher rate.
Right. Yep.
So,
But it's important that we can't.
but we're not limiting it to handicapped accessibility. We're just calling it a building fund. Just like this could be called a capital fund.
So, all right, so let me ask you a silly question, and don't throw nothing at me. So since it's a building fund, can I build a highway bond on it?
Library building fund.
I was just curious.
Yeah, but
so-
who's raising the money? I mean, we've raised $135,000 so far, so,
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
So it could, if it was more of a, because
Yeah.
it would be voted down by the town if it was a debt exclusion. That the library would be voted down. That a fire truck would be voted in because it's an essential service. And it affects everybody. But now I've forgotten what I was going to say, but it was very
Thanks.
important.
It was very important. I'm
That's
gonna
why I wrote down.
As soon as I remember it, I'm coming back at it. No. No, but in all seriousness, I think we're all on the same page, and I think it's important that we acknowledge whatever it is that we need to fix, and we try to come up with some sort of solution to do it. And I'm not trying to convince you to this, I'm just telling you what my thoughts are.
No, I've
So,
told you what I'm
yep,
going to do,
yep,
so
no.
you're ready for it, so.
Well, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we need to make a decision if we want to put this on the fall town meeting to see if they can vote into it. Now, it takes, what's it, simple majority to put it in, and then it takes 2/3 to do anything with it? I believe that's how it goes.
So I'm not,
I believe that's how it goes, but, and it's not an easy thing, so let's make that clear. But it can be changed, it can be reworded, it can be reappropriated, it could be reused. Even if it's like this, the people could vote, just like they do with the monies in the ambulance account and everything else. They could vote, 2/3 vote, to take and use it for anything they want. They want to buy a case of pencils, if that's what they vote for, then that's what they do. I don't know of any other solution, and I've been struggling with it for a year, so I don't know if anybody else could come up with a better solution, but we need to do something, because it's not going to go away. It will be in an interest-bearing account, so that helps a little bit. If Ben can get creative, come up with a new way to prevent fires or a new way to put them out, maybe we don't need you can
There was a
get
cooler way, but there isn't.
get a drone with a big bag of water on it, I don't know. It's just a problem, and I don't know how to get around it. So doing nothing isn't a solution, we need to do something. So this was the only thing that I could come up with. It's not a force-feeding thing,
It is in that it's designating it just for a big fire engine.
Yep.
And I think that's what helps us fund other projects, is because now we're free to, we have
Well,
free money.
that was
know.
the strategy behind it.
Right.
To come up with something to now, we know that we're gonna take $100,000 on the years coming out each year. Doesn't really strap us for our capital budgets. It's like if we only took $100,000 out this year, we would have had $650,000 left that we could have done something else with, a lot of the other things with. When we got done with highway, the fire truck and the Chapter 90 match, we got a couple kettles for the school, and we had nothing left to do. And I think my own personal feeling is they should have got them all replaced. Because they provide the hot meals to the kids, but it served a very important role during the pandemic. Hopefully, we never get another one, but who knows? It served a very important role in to have the proper equipment to provide those meals is critical for us. But- Brad, you're thinking of something?
So my feeling on this is it's not just that it's one vehicle, boom, that's done.
This is a perpetual thing.
It's a perpetual.
I know, and
Let me finish. Because Mike listed the ages of each vehicle, and they have to be maintained well, they have to be ready to go, and you can't keep saying, well, yeah, next year or 2 years down the road, because we don't know what that's going to bring. Where, as a building, yeah, it's a one-time thing for at least 20-plus years. So that's when you go for a building fund. But this setup does help, I feel, that it would help the community to have a more, or myself, a more balanced feeling about how things are being set aside, and we can kind of live with that situation. I mean, when I first came on the Board of Selectmen, all the highway department vehicles, oh my God, we just kept replacing, and it was tough because they were constantly being fixed,
Right.
and we were spending good money after good money to fix
Yeah.
something kept deteriorating. So I feel that, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, the other thing, Elliot, is, and I'm only saying to you because you pay attention.
yeah, I'm
No.
not going to vote for it, so.
No, I'm not trying to get you to vote for it, but I want you to understand the effort that got put into the thought
Oh.
process. So I met with Matt, the town administrator, within the last 2 weeks, and we sat down, and because I need to get my head around this town finance stuff. And so between what it would cost us in interest if we took out a 20-year note on this thing, and the money that we would earn in interest on having this in a stabilization account almost equals the cost of the asset, of the savings that we have by going this route versus borrowing money against it. And then once you borrow money against something like this, that it could be preventable, it's going to prohibit you or put you in a tough spot to do something that's really important, whether it's whatever building it is, trying to renovate them, because we're not talking short money to do anything with any of these buildings, whether it's, and I'm going to go in reverse, whether it's fire, police, highway, the library, the schools, whatever it is that we have, huh?
Upstairs, too.
Yeah, upstairs here, we have this is a project that we need to be serious about with this, with the upstairs of this building, but in order for that to happen, the town clerk has $360,000 put into a vault area for all the vital records that we have, which is very important. She's mandated by the state, which I don't know how we get her, probably the same way we got away with the library. Nobody's paying that close of attention to it. So we have to solve that. That gets records out of there, gets them out of Jean's office, gets them out of her office, stuff that's upstairs, the voting machines, all that foolishness. The building commissioner, he came before us in Capitol, and he wanted a large format scanner and some other things to start putting all those records upstairs in order to get those out of there. And aside from that, it has to be sprinkled. You can't sprinkle it because the water pipe out in the street is 1906 and is tuberculated, so now it's all closed up. You have plenty of pressure, but no volume. That needs to be corrected before you even start talking about this. Now, we funded, was it 5 or 6 years ago, we started off at 28,000, now we're up around 90 or 100,000 for the fire alarm system for upstairs, but we didn't do that because we gotta fix the roof that's leaking down the other end, and really, it's not that urgent to do it, because if we're not moving up there, maybe that stuff's gonna be antiquated by the time we get up there, so.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle that we're going into, but these are all these conversations that are going around. And this plays into it, because it takes such a big bite out of us every 5 years, or whenever they can get it done. It really holds us back from doing anything. This year, we couldn't do anything at all, so. And then we anticipated a little more revenue than we normally get, and because of the timing of stuff, it goes into a following year. So, I don't know. I don't have any other strategy other than this one, I couldn't think of anything else to come up with. And I can appreciate your point on it, is done. I don't totally disagree with you, but I don't know a way to get around this. Normally, if it wasn't this particular situation, I would probably agree with you 100%. I wouldn't want to lock it into one particular thing. But I don't know any way to fix this problem. Does anybody else have anything else to add to this? Do we want to entertain taking a vote on this?
I move that we approve the recommendation of the special stabilization account proposal for the special town meeting on November 16th, 2022, as presented.
I second the motion.
We have a motion by Shirley, seconded by Brandon. Any other further discussions from anybody? No? Nope. 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 Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Aye. So we have 4 in favor and 1 opposed. It's the majority of this, of the attendance, not the charge. So, all righty. So the second thing on our agenda will be review and approve minutes.
Just in reading the item number 2, the second sentence line, the committee had voted on their 5-year plan to something is missing there.
To put in.
Okay.
Mine says to put in.
Plan,
Yeah, put in 100,000 out of the town's free cash account that will be for a capital
5 year-
project.
yeah.
No, I don't think that's correct.
They voted on their 5-year plan to put in $100,000.
but mine doesn't say put. It says 5-year plan to $100,000.
Oh, this
Mine
one
says
says
put.
it. Yeah, this
Yeah,
one says
yeah,
it
take that
right
one.
here. Oh. Did you print it out, or did?
Yeah.
See.
Okay, I'll take this one.
Yours doesn't have it in it?
I don't, no, but I printed it at home.
Yeah. well,
Oh,
that
you
might
print
be
that at
it.
home? Well,
Yeah.
see, you probably have one of those Amazon printers or something.
No. Okay, thank you. Very good. I'm like, something's wrong there. Do you have two of these, Ellie?
Here's a whole nother one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had 3 of
Yeah.
them. I mean, these were on the table.
Yeah, there was 6 of them.
okay.
Lisa had printed out 6 of them for
You
us.
can have it. It's all for you.
So we
It's got your
needed
name
5,
written
they
all
gave
over
us
it.
No,
extra.
I just need one. Thank you.
And that may have been, because last time I think you mentioned that maybe, because they were going to come back and we didn't approve a bunch of minutes and it's
Right.
June 22nd.
Right.
And I think it was
Okay,
that they did insert it finally.
good.
So that's on the June 22nd. Are you
Right.
fine with everything else on that? Now that you have the put in?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm looking for a motion to approve the June 22nd, 2022 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Shirley, seconded by Ellie. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, August 28th minutes.
HIWAY version 2. So I'm gonna call them, they're gonna take a break while we're out with it, but then I'm gonna come back. Well, we should ask them to get advanced gateway stuff for the emergency stuff. And I'm just now wondering if even though it's paid for, this seems to be verified. Linking between the hospital only. But, I don't know, gotta find out.
Yes, it's going to be a celebration. No, no. I keep it. Ms. Delphine has a vote.
Just about, if I may, midway down. It's got, instead of Jean Lovett, it has an L,
Say it to me in word. Very good.
Leanne.
Well, getting closer.
Where is that, in 1 or 2?
Yeah, eventually.
But it's probably in 1, because 2 is,
In one. It's in one, midway down. The finance director.
Oh, it says Leanne instead of Jean?
Yeah.
yeah, Jean, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So we can just change that, right?
Yep, yep, as amended. I'll
will we
have,
approve these
I'll give it,
minutes
yep.
of August 8th, 2022 as amended?
Second.
Motion's made by Shirley, seconded by Ellie. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, one thing I just want to mention, reading it in these minutes, so I get corrected on that because I asked the town administrator about the code of conduct. So the only reason people were signing that just to acknowledge that they received it. That's all that was for. So if you don't want to sign them, you don't sign them. The mere fact that I gave it to you at the meeting is proof enough that you received it, because we had a conversation about it, so.
Yeah, it's in the minutes.
Yep, yep. Okay, anybody else have anything else?
Next meeting, or you're not?
No, I don't think we
Town
need
meeting,
any
special
more meetings right now. We'll get through the town meeting and then we'll have to start up. I don't want to wait until just before budget season, so we're crunching through it. But
How's, do you have any notions of free cash, or has that been done yet, or?
no, I don't.
I mean, it doesn't have to be done before the special town meeting at least? And so then you'd get an idea?
I don't know that answer.
Whoa.
Have we certified free cash, Mr. Administrator?
No,
No. Does that get done
we just
before?
closed the general fund,
Yeah.
so we typically does come back to us from BLS before fall town meeting, but not a lot. A couple weeks.
Thank you. There's your answer. That's the benefits of having them in the room with us.
No, it's just that then, if
Yeah.
that's so, then we should have a sort of an idea of, that you could have it sooner than later. You don't
our
have to
meeting?
wait- Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to wait till
Right.
February or something
Yeah,
like that.
what I like to do to help us as a committee is to have an idea of what our proposed budget is for capital. Otherwise, we're just spinning our wheels.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that myself. I would assume that everybody else feels the same way. So what I'll do is, once the town administrator and finance director make me aware of the fact of what we get to put towards capital projects, then I'll reach out to everybody and see what their availability is. But I would like to be ahead of this curve instead of at the last minute rushing around, because that's
Yeah.
very frustrating for everybody. Other than that, if nobody else says anything else, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Seconded.
Motion made by Ellie, seconded by Brandon, all in favor.
Aye,
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
thank you.